studio here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Nevada? I don't know why it was.
I like it.
Nevada.
It's a nice accent.
It's been a long weekend.
You're telling me.
Oh my goodness.
We're all hungover.
For me, for sure.
For you?
Yeah. I didn't get drunk yesterday, but I was drunk the night before watching the UFC. So I held off. I held off for the
You don't want to go 2 nights in a row?
I don't drink. I very rarely drink. Maybe it's like a once every 6 to 8 months where I drink. And these guys were all here doing whatnot. We came and watched the UFC fight. Oh my god! And then Steve won shots.
I was gonna say nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, so yeah, and I don't do that often, so I'm still struggling today. 2 days later.
I was totally good.
You guys that do this often
Well, we did
are
it the night before.
Yeah, you guys can continue to do it.
You keep going. We started game day after dark. So
Yeah.
it was supposed to just be. It was supposed to be Johnny Rip Rip. Johnny Rip Ripper's in here, and then all of a sudden, Cody came in, and then I came in, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Break out the whiskey.
Instead of happening.
Yeah.
The good stuff too.
It is good stuff. So hey, what was good stuff was this weekend? Super Bowl.
Another good game, I thought. I thought that it was because no one wants to skip. You all want to skip those games, you know what I mean? And it was a back and forth. It wasn't dominated by one team in particular, so it was a good back and forth. And that was a good game. I wish the Bengals line would have held up a little bit better for Burrow, but everyone knew going into the season that was their big need, right? Because everyone kind of bashed the Jamar Chase drafting at number 5. They wanted him to go offensive line. So obviously they're probably going to address that in the draft. I'll tell you, my biggest disappointment was sure. We didn't get him kicked. I really wanted that. But he did come back out and watch the show. I wanted him to kick it, and I wanted him to turn the key. Yeah, I wanted that.
I think we all were hoping for some sort of heroic from him. Right. Because it's been so good leading up to it that if he did something like that in the Super Bowl, he's already where legends can be for kickers. He's already up there.
Yeah.
But if he would have did something like that in the Super Bowl, then he's legend amongst men.
And I mean, you're talking close too, because when they went for it on that 4th and 1, if they convert that, you're not looking like you're too far off kicking a game time lead.
Well, you have 3 downs to get 1 yard.
You know what I hate more? This is something I saw this morning. The Bengals had 3rd and 1s and 1 4th and 1. And Joe Mixon was not on.
Well, tell me how you give the ball to Samaje Perine. What?
Right.
Look at your offense. You have this on the offense. You have 10. I would go to the lineman before I would go to Samaje Perine. You don't give him the ball. Put Joe Mixon in the game.
That's what I don't get. I don't understand why they can't make Joe Mixon a short yardage guy. I understand not getting him just hammered in there all the time to where you get injured, but he might shorten it. He's 225 pounds. He's not a small man. Right. That's what I'm saying. Why would you not use him on more 3rd and 1?
No, I think the coaches coach himself out of it. They think in their mindset, oh, the bigger guy, he can get. What is he? 10 pounds bigger?
Yeah. It's called getting too cute.
Who gives a shit? Put the best running back in the game. Let him go get you a 1 yard and get the first down. Now you have a chance to win the freaking Super Bowl.
Anybody would learn that. Right? And just learn that there's situations where you just don't need out. But that's what they're trying to do, especially with the 2 young guys that are going to be coaching in the Super Bowl and just came down that one play, because I thought both teams it's showing right now. Mixon had 15 rushes for 72 yards. Yeah, that's not that bad of a game. He had a decent game, right? Especially when they were locked in on that. And he had a couple of good 10-yard runs in the game, so it's he could put his head down and plow through that pile.
Yeah, see, I'd much rather have the faster back that's been in the game and working the whole time, get the ball in that situation. There was other situations in the game too that we all kind of shake our head about.
I think it's both ways. It's both teams have it.
Yeah, but running the ball against the Rams, nobody's done it all year. You can't run against the Rams.
That's they could have done it. They could have run an end around or something like that. They had great trick plays. One of the fastest guys in the league, and it would have been great. And you could have done something where,
Well, they did it the week before when they had Jamar Chase take the in around. He got 11 yards. Now you only need Jamar Chase to get 1 yard.
Correct.
Like, what?
And T. Higgins is a good blocking receiver, so we're kind of done.
When the game is on the line like that, you get the ball and the players with the best players on the field. You know what I mean? You don't say, hey, let's go to our backup, Samaje P. Ryan, who's been basically outcast. Let's give it to him with the game on the line. You want to get the playmakers the ball. Like, that's what you're there for. You get it to either Joe Mixon or you get Jamar Chase or hell, even T. Higgins on something. Like, they had a trick play where Mixon threw a touchdown at T. Higgins. So it's like they obviously use him in trick plays. Like, I just felt like they kind of dropped the ball there.
Yeah, and we can second guess play calling for forever, and I thought Matthew Stafford did the same thing. Like, why the hell are you throwing at this other wide receiver? Who is this? What's his name?
Vince Gowernick?
Yeah, whoever the hell this guy. Why is he even touching the ball? Like,
do we forget that in the NFC Championship game, he was wide open the back of the end zone and took one of the chest play?
the guy should never touch the ball in any key situation. It doesn't matter. Odell goes down, that's fine. That means, guess what? You're only throwing a Cooper Kupp, and your tight end. The tight end looked great.
The tight end had 0. Blanton had 0.
Oh, who was the guy that had the 3 catches for the Rams? The third string tight end.
You're talking about Van Jefferson? Kendall Blanton was the guy that started because Higbee didn't play, and Blanton got shut out. And he was in everybody's DFS lineups because he had done so well the week before.
Yeah.
And then he basically got blanked.
No, there was one guy the guy they caught for the Rams, the tight end. He caught like 3 balls, and he looked pretty good, but he was like the third string guy.
Not good enough. Just not good enough because obviously
he was good enough.
Yeah, OBJ got hurt early in the game, like you saw. That was actually a 20 scale.
That's so disappointing too. That was such a great moment. I mean, you talk about highs and highs, lows and lows. Guys that struggle with their demeanor and the way they throughout their career. That's one of those guys.
This is not just like an injury that this when it happens in week 2 or 3 of the season, the guy battles back. He misses the whole season, but he's back and he's ready for the beginning of the next season. You're talking about the last game of the entire NFL season for this year, and he misses it with a 20 ACL. He's not going to be back by the time the games start next year, and he's a free agent. So now you're talking about this guy going into free agency. Who's going to take a chance on him at his age, coming off a torn ACL? He's going to have to sign for the minimum. No one's going to give him a long-term contract. They're going to want to give him a prove-it deal.
He didn't get any money on this contract.
Right.
Everything was incentive-based on this contract. So he was playing himself into getting a bigger contract with the Rams. I think they for sure would have, if he stayed healthy, they for sure would have paid him
100%
some decent money to stay there with him. Him as the number 2,
yeah.
I think it's great.
Yes, I thought he was doing great.
Yeah, he could be a number 2 as long as he keeps his head out of his ass. But leaving him in LA for a long time,
especially injured when he's not playing, so now he's got more time to go around and do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a little sketchy. I'm curious to see what happens with him. He's my biggest question mark going into next season.
Yeah, I have a little video of OBJ that we pulled up at the end of the game. It was pretty good because he's my boy. Look at my boy getting his ring. And at least he did something in the game. Yeah. Like if
he catch a touchdown,
yes,
he can say he caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl,
and it was a great catch.
Yes,
like
it was the first touchdown.
Yeah, it was a beautiful catch. He actually made a part of the Super Bowl. If he didn't have a touchdown, he would caught like 1 ball, and then he got hurt. I think it would be a different scenario for him, and I think he'd feel a little different. But he put his part out there, and he did it. He got a touchdown.
It's great that it was Von Miller that he was embracing too, because that's the guy that actually recruited him to come to LA. After Miller went to LA, they said the story last night. He was in the hot tub. He got around the phone as soon as they saw that Odell was available. They said come to LA, and basically between LA and Green Bay, because Devontae Adams felt like he was
shafted, right?
Yeah, felt he was
excited.
Yeah, he said go get Cooper Kupp style. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I thought that it was great. I love the phone.
Yeah.
I thought that was
another one.
Yeah. I thought that him getting a ring with this team playing at first.
Yeah.
I think going over there and being that second, like it's hard for a guy like Von Miller. And he played the ball so well.
Yes.
And then so was Aaron Donald. By the way, I mean, we love Max Crosby here, right? He's got that same type of number idea. But Aaron Donald was absolutely on that last series. They said it just briefly. I don't know if you caught it. He didn't jog onto the field. The dude sprinted onto the field and got onto the field before the Bengals offense and stood opposite side to stare Joe Burrow down from the sideline all the way to the huddle.
I love it.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Well,
that's a special type of play.
So if you look back
Game
at the
one.
game, like the Bengals had the perfect game plan in the first half. They were triple teaming him, double teaming him. They were not going to let Aaron Donald beat them in the first half. They were doing the game plan perfectly. And then the second half, it's like they just forgot all about it. They stopped putting 3 guys on him. Yeah, 2 guys should be okay to block most people in the NFL. You can't block him with 2 guys.
Nice.
Every single game he gets double teamed. You need that extra guy to stop him.
And I felt bad too because they've been known lately, especially this year, making the halftime adjustments. The Bengals have done a great job of doing that. Even yesterday, it looked like the Rams were going to run away with it, and Bengals kept chipping away, and then they come out right after halftime. It's like boom, 70-yard pass right to T. Higgins, and they have the lead.
Do you think it's because like all their coaching staff's all like under 40 and below, and so when all the halftime show came out, they're like, who are these old people? So they were kind of like
back to the
mesmerized.
drawing board?
Yeah, they're like, who are these people like on this halftime show?
Yeah.
And they didn't get to prepare because they're
Right.
watching the halftime show.
They didn't recognize
You
the
know what I
sense.
think
Yeah.
is for that? To be honest with you, I think that what played out is right before the half is instead of really looking at I think they probably went in at halftime and there was a lot of adjustments, probably with a lot of discussion. Honestly, they probably had a 5-minute chat and and the,
Yes.
reason I say that is because we had that big turnover right from the half. The reason I point that out is because the Rams' point total in the first half was 13.5. We had ran some prop bets on the break that I was doing. Someone was holding the Rams over 13.5 and it's sitting there, and then they missed the point after.
Yeah.
Believe it.
Oh man! So one of our guys unfortunately didn't get his prop that he won.
I bet this prop every year. I think I told you about this. It's the best prop out there, and it almost came true again for the 3rd time in the last like 5 years. Is I go down and I bet, will the game be tied at halftime? The game will be tied at halftime, and then I bet both sides. So I basically took the game tied at halftime and Rams, and the game tied at halftime, Bengals win because the Rams were plus 1,600 for that, and the Bengals plus 2,000. So if you just go put $20 on each of those, yeah, one of them's gonna lose. But now all you need to do is hope that the game is tied at halftime. You're winning.
Right.
A big ticket. So it's like I wouldn't bet that, and it was set up perfectly for me when you miss extra point. And I was like, okay, the Bengals just need to go down and get a field goal here, tie it 13-13, and we're a big winner, right? And they couldn't do it, and I was like, well, there goes that. So both those prop bets lost, but I felt good about that one. I bet that one every year, and it's actually hit twice out of the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about the Super Bowl is the massive amount of bets that you can get down.
Yeah.
And put on stuff that like it's pretty crazy. I had I put 2 bets on. I put money line Rams. So I had the Rams money line, and I also put the Rams -7.5. So I was more furious at that Jalen Ramsey no call, and I know we want to get in. Let's watch the video.
Let's do it because I want to talk about this.
There at the top end, let's take a look. A face mask grab, slings.
How you don't make this call? How does no? So in the NFL, so I've officiated wrestling, baseball, and football for most of my adult life. I officiated football for 15 years. We run in high school football because that's the highest level I ever got to. We run for like JV games. We run 4-man mechanics. For varsity games, we run 5-man mechanics, meaning we have an extra back judge back there to help out with the passing because in varsity games they do a lot more passing than they do in the lower levels. In the NFL, they run 8-man crews. So they have literally blanketed every quadrant of the field. There's an official there, and even 2 guys helping out those guys. How do you miss this call? Is a travesty. This is the same thing that happened in the New Orleans game going back, what was it, 3 years ago?
With the Rams,
Yes.
yeah.
The
Missed
missing pass
Yeah.
interference. It's like Jalen Ramsey is probably the most gifted athlete on the field.
Right.
He can run faster than everybody. He's so athletically gifted. You don't fall down when you are Jalen Ramsey.
Correct.
How does this happen?
And said it's like then Ramsey falls down.
Yeah, he just falls down. I was like, when you go back and look at the slow motion replay, like it doesn't look like Higgins grabbed him on purpose and did it, but he was like shooing him away. When he did, yes. Once he did it, Ramsey's whole head turned around, then all of his momentum took him to the ground. Like you're running full speed, someone jerks your head like that, you're gonna fall down.
Jalen Ramsey hasn't fell down since he was 2 months old. That was the last time he fell down. He has not fell down since then. So you can't tell me this guy is falling down. Somebody, one of these referees should have said, that don't look right.
Yeah.
And threw the flag.
At least throw the flag and go look at it again if you throw the flag because they already scored. You're basically reviewing those other plays anyways. I know you can't review penalties. I get that. They can't even challenge the penalty. So it's like once it's done.
Use that play.
Yes.
The NFL could have said no, there was pass interference.
The guys upstairs.
But the rule is they can't throw a flag from
upstairs.
From
Yes.
the review booth.
So that's what I personally, for myself, I needed it because I had T. Higgins in my FanDuel lineup, so I kind of needed it. I needed both those touchdowns. Yeah, I won the FanDuel.
Wonder, don't they know you're an expert by now? This is what I think is funny because Jay likes to play with all of our friends and all of our buddies, and we've been playing fantasy for a long time.
For years.
And Jay continues to win everything. He sweeps everything. Listen, he's on our podcast as a fantasy expert for a reason. They just let him run away with free money every single time they play. I don't get it.
It's not always.
You're like 90% with these clowns. I'm like, when are they going to realize they're not going to win? He understands how to put the right lineups together, when to put them in. You're good. You're the GOAT.
So we had our bad beats again, right? Yesterday, and then I was holding Higgins for MVP, and I'm gonna go ahead and call that back.
Yeah,
I think it's close enough to call.
needed the Bengals to win.
All they needed to do was just kick a field goal and win. Even going to overtime, it didn't matter.
What would have solidified it is a touchdown in the game
Could you
in regulation. That would have for sure got him because he basically did like Cooper Kupp had similar stat line. You know what I mean? He had a very similar. It wasn't identical, but it was a similar stat line. T. Higgins finished with 4 catches for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and obviously one of them was 70 yards, and that obviously helped him out quite a bit. But still, he finished 4 for 100 and 2 touchdowns.
I had Odell to win the MVP.
After still,
Yeah, I did. I jinxed my boy.
Strengths.
I blew his ACL. Of course, I'm like sitting there after that first touchdown. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this $100 ticket now could be a quick $2,000. No,
I had 20 on that prop.
Yeah. He's a huge
Big
like
underdog.
because usually wide receivers don't want to usually it's quarterback or it's a defensive guy. I was surprised. I thought maybe Aaron Donald had a shot at getting it because he had a decent game too, but then obviously very fitting that Cooper Kupp got it. He was the best receiver in football this year. He broke every record that he could.
He won the Triple Crown.
Yep.
He won the Offensive Player of the Year, and then he won the MVP.
Nobody's ever done it in
No
one
one's
season.
ever done that in one season.
Yeah, Jerry Rice is the only other guy to do it, but he did it throughout his career.
Yeah.
No one's ever done it in the.
And then he gets up there and says that I still only got this record.
And and
That's
the
what-
argument is, I know that Aaron Rodgers kind of played this year, but I think when it came down to the last 2 weeks of the season, I think
And I also thought there should have been Joe Burrow should have got some nominations too.
oh yeah, that's a
And
travesty.
he didn't get any nomination for MVP. It's
That's
like
a travesty.
it's not MVP is most valuable player.
Right.
It's not the best player in football.
Right.
It's not the most liked player in football. It's the most valuable to your team.
It's dog function.
And
But you have the guys that are voting for it, and it's a popularity contest. So if you're mean to them, then they don't like you. If you don't answer questions, then they don't like you. It's a popularity contest. It shouldn't be about who likes who. Especially speaking of people that don't like people. What's going on with Kyler Murray? Is he leaving?
my,
He literally, if you don't know, obviously everybody that follows sports knows this by now. But if you don't know, you're watching us right now. Kyler Murray this last weekend, right before the Super Bowl, deleted all of his Arizona Cardinals stuff off of his Instagram, which usually is like a big red flag to everybody that he's unhappy. Doesn't mean he's being traded. Doesn't mean he's wanting to ask for a trade. It means he's unhappy. He feels, and I actually pulled this up the other day because I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is going on? And Chris Mortensen actually reported it. It's a very odd vibe between the Cardinals and Kyler Murray right now. Murray is described as being self-centered, immature, and a finger pointer, per sources. He is frustrated with the franchise and embarrassed by the playoff loss to the Rams and thinks he's being framed as a scapegoat. Then it went one step further. Colt McCoy comes out, and we all love Colt McCoy, right? Great backup. These guys like 47 people. Colt McCoy reported that Kyler Murray came up to him before their playoff loss ended, before the game was over, and said, "I'm done." Walked up to Colt McCoy and said, "I'm done."
Well,
Before the game was over.
and then we went to the Pro Bowl, and my very first observation was the guy did not want to. I don't not like. There's a difference between not wanting to play the game because the game isn't really a game, but he just didn't want to see it. Right. And I jokingly said he started the Pro Bowl off on the season. Right. I'll tell you this: it is very, very targeted. Have you tried to delete stuff on your Instagram?
Yeah, it's not like you just go there and hit accidentally.
It's not like you can select everything all at once.
Right.
This was methodical hours of him going through selecting this stuff.
Well, you know damn well he's not doing
He's
it.
like,
He's
go
doing
in
it.
You go in.
He goes,
Every
yeah.
time.
It was still like, Kyler, you want to remove that one? Yeah. Kyler, how about this one? Yeah.
He goes,
This
I don't
one?
want to see anything with a bird in it. Get it out of here.
Red, white, bird, done. Get
And
it
on
off.
top of it, and on top of it, which is like you want to solve the it's one thing he removes all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then he unfollowed the Cardinals.
Yes.
So that was the deal. So I get going back through and like deleting stuff. You know, it's like when you want to. People do it all the time with like their girlfriend when they're dating their
Yes.
girlfriend and they want to piss them off. They go back and delete some photos and stuff. So I get that, but then you have to have big balls to unfollow your girlfriend.
Yeah.
You really that's a step into another level where you're like unfollows.
Yeah.
Then because you know the aftermath is coming.
Yeah.
You delete a couple photos, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
You unfollow, now it's big trouble.
Yes.
So yes, there's big trouble in Little China here, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
Well,
Either one of you think he's going to go back to baseball?
well, he definitely has the out. And
Me as a sports card investor
Yeah.
owning a card shop, I hope, please, Kyler Murray, go back to baseball.
I'm an Oakland A's fan. He's still under contract. He got drafted in the first round, so I'm hoping he does. I'm always like, you know what? Like, what better news story, what better sports story would that be than to be like, you know what? I'm pissed off. I think you guys are treating me wrong. And maybe he is self-centered. Maybe he is. But if he just said, you know what? I'm going to go play baseball now. Said, look, screw it. I'm going to go play baseball. And he goes off and he plays baseball with the Oakland A's for a little while and see how he does.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not as good. But I think he was a five-tool star when he was coming out.
he's so
Being that athletic.
my kid's
that
buddy
kid-
played
Yes.
Oh yeah.
at Oklahoma. He's that good.
Okay. So
He is that good. He's like he told me he's like my buddy went out to see his kid play multiple times, right? And he said, Kyler Murray, best baseball players I've ever seen. This guy played high level, D1 football, like he's played all the sports and understands athletics. And his kid was really good. So for him to come out and say it's the best kid I've ever seen play.
Right.
Like,
So maybe, just maybe, I know this is completely off the wall, but maybe, if you remember before that draft came up where he got drafted by Kingsbury and the Cardinals, he was still saying he was going to play baseball. He was still saying that. And then people were like, well, what if you go number one when you play football? He was like, I don't know, we'll have to see. Then he gets taken number one overall, and he decides to play football. Maybe he was talked into that, but his heart was really with baseball.
It's out there. He said his first love is baseball. So that's
so
why
if he's pissed off, maybe
he
he's
wanted to play baseball and football. Cardinal for like, look, this is not a
at quarterback you can't do that.
This is not a 6-month deal like this quarterback. You're here all the time.
right.
If he was a receiver or a running back or a defensive back like Dion and like Bo, like you could get away with those guys not being there. Just they're gifted athletes. Put them out there and let them play. You're the quarterback. You're there. 100%.
So I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe it's a possibility that he's not looking for an extension from the Cardinals and he's not looking to be traded from the Cardinals and go be a quarterback somewhere else. Maybe he's like, you know what, I want to follow my heart for a little while and I want to go play baseball and see where that takes
He
me.
holds a different leverage. right? Because of this.
Yes.
Now I keep referring to him as the future quarterback of the NFL. That's just me because if you pay attention to how things work out a lot of times, John Elway and the Cardinals, for some reason, get deals done all the time. And who needs a quarterback? It's aggressive. John Elway and the Broncos.
Unless it's for a coach, then you show up drunk and wasted.
Well, I didn't say that.
Show up drunk and like
Drunk and late to the meeting to interview with the head coach for your football team. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with Kyler Murray. I think we're all, wanting something to happen. Do I think something's gonna happen? No, I think he'll be playing with the Cardinals next year. But I'm hoping. I'm hoping something happens for us. Because I think it would be great.
I'm hoping he falls all your heart.
Kyler, listen to us.
All your heart.
You see guys get hooked all the time. You see all this stuff. So we had the NBA trade deadline.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of action there.
And it was actually really action packed. You see CJ McCollum getting moved, which is kind of a big deal in a way.
It is. Because you're breaking up the Damian Lillard.
Yeah, they're definitely opening the door for Dame to leave. There's no doubt about it.
Correct.
They're moving on from Dame. There was some winners and some losers for sure. I want to get your guys' opinion. Who won the Simmons and Harden between the Nets and the 76ers?
Can we say they both won? Because when you look at it, for me, you look at that deal, I think they both won. The Sixers got rid of Simmons, who they've been trying to get rid of for a while. Simmons obviously does not want to be there. And they get rid of him. Yeah, they get rid of James Harden, but Harden wasn't doing much there anyways. So
can they both lose in that situation too?
Absolutely.
They both got rid of disgruntled players who obviously have a knock against them. Like Harden's had a knock against him for years. He doesn't play defense. Always worry about his offense. I don't know. You look at him as winners, both teams, or losers, in my opinion, because it was a huge trade that had a lot of implications. But I don't know. You have two grumpy players that don't want to. Like, how long until James Harden is unhappy in Philadelphia?
Well, the Simmons thing was Simmons. You got to remember, Simmons wanted out a calendar year and a half.
Yes.
And then he came into camp and still didn't want to be there. Right. And they didn't want to make him move. I think there's a little thing different between that and a guy who just all of a sudden, because he's missed one day and decides he doesn't want to, drive to New Jersey. Like, problem with that guy. I don't know if that's the right chemistry guy. I'll tell you what I think personally. Kills the 76ers. And sure, the talent is there. The guy's super talented. Embiid is losing touches. He's not. It doesn't seem to be a great locker room guy. And you had a young, promising, up-and-coming potential superstar with the 76ers. Maxey's now going to be pushed to the next squad, playing more limited minutes, which is going to hamper his growth. And I think that they're the loser. Whereas I feel like you're right. Harden didn't have his all there. And Simmons is going to come out of the gate, kicking down doors and trying to show the 76ers they lost.
Yeah.
I think that will be a win for the Nets in the short term. And if Simmons realizes the potential we thought he could be,
you got to see if Simmons falls in line because you guys still Kevin Durant there. You still got Patrick Irving. Like Simmons has to fall in line behind those two superstars. Yeah. And if he does, he could be great.
But he always played behind it.
Yeah.
Embiid was always first.
Oh, so this is I'm telling you right now, the easiest money in the world right now is to go put it on Embiid to win it. There's no way, no chance that he does not win it. They are going to give it to him 100%. Right now, I looked when I was there yesterday. He's a 2-1 basically. He's a big favorite, but you put 1,000 down, you're going to win 2,000. It seems like the easiest bet in the world to me. Now he's probably going to get hurt because me, I'll jinx him into
slowing
it.
I'm going to argue Morant with you, and I'm going to put my money on Morant.
Morant's like 6-1 right now.
He's got a lesser franchise. He's doing bigger things, and he's going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but there's like 3 other guys ahead of him. I was looking at the odds yesterday, and when Embiid did that dunk down the middle of the lane the other day, in my mind, I'm like, this guy's going to win.
Well, the reason that it is the 76ers don't have stuff in the standings. Coming down the stretch, Grizzlies got a real tough schedule.
But they may not look at that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it doesn't matter because it's going to hamper what guys do on the court.
Right.
What I'm saying is, I think that might be the reason why he said favorite because
Right.
schedule. But if Morant keeps doing what he's been doing against really good teams,
I just think it's an easy bet.
can you
We'll mark
lose if you
mark
bet
this
both?
day and we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Did you see by chance they were picking All-Star team? Did you see that little draft between Durant?
I watched it.
You saw it. It came down to the last pick, and Durant could have taken Harden, and instead he said, "I'm going to go for some more size," which he already had 2 centers on his squad. Durant was picking his team. He said, "I'm going to go." It was Rudy Gobert and James Harden. And Durant could have taken Harden, but instead he said, "I'm going to go for a little bit more size just to counteract LeBron's team." And LeBron started busting up laughing.
He covered his face.
He covered his face with the clipboard because he was laughing so hard because he knew he knew he was throwing shade, and Durant didn't even smile. That's how much he's basically like, F you, get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm not taking you on my squad. You're a cancer. So that just shows you what the 76ers are getting because Durant, who was just with them and was with them on OKC, was like, later, dude. I don't want
I
to
want to know how much they paid Durant and LeBron. Because if I am a superstar, I don't want to be put in that situation.
Where you're picking other superstars to be
where
on
I'm
your
picking
team. And he literally picked Rudy Gobert over Harden, and he already had 2 centers on his
I
team.
loved it. I thought it was great. I'm like, yes, stick it to the guy. But all right.
You know, I talked about that All Star. I'll tell you, the guy that got worst run of all this stuff. All Star time. It's shadowed by Brady. It's very much trade deadline crushes him. The guy is like this huge story that like look at where he came
That
from
nobody
in his
heard.
career and all that stuff, and no one knows the Wiggins. Like people are gonna turn on the All Star game this weekend, and they're gonna go All Star game.
Right.
Start.
Right. He's having a phenomenal season.
He's going to get married, though. Like you said, no one's even going to realize it.
Yeah, just in the trade deadline. Deal done. Oh my god, I feel so bad for him. He had his 5 seconds.
Speaking about that, let's talk about it a little bit.
Well, so I always say that like the first piece of news that comes out is always the true news, right? You know, Brady's gonna retire. Brady's not gonna retire. It's always that type of scenario. I can use that as the most recent scenario. There was a tweet that went out Saturday night, middle of the Asiana. How do you say his name? Fight.
Oh, Adesanya.
Adesanya. In the middle of the Adesanya fight, it was up for like 30 seconds. And it said, Major League Baseball had reached an agreement with a player. And it was now, these things happen, we start looking at the lay of the land. Well, that's a really bad time for news to drop, right? One of the biggest UFC fighters currently is in the middle of a fight. So it's going to be all over you. Then you've got the Super Bowl
The next day.
right? And the aftermath of the Super Bowl today, that's all anybody's going to talk about.
Right.
And then Tuesday, it'll start to transition from here's some of our Super Bowl good stories to NBA All Star. So usually about Wednesday or Thursday is probably like your target. My guess is this was a true tweet. This is real information. I believe that we will hear by middle of this week, Major League Baseball and Players Association have reached get out the lockout, which gets us time to get started, get into training camp, gives us time to be able to get our partners, gives us a chance to get our guys back on.
Especially with all the mandates, everything getting lifted across all the country. There's nothing you want more than to get these fans back into the stadiums to watch these. Because we haven't seen preseason baseball in almost 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
We haven't seen AAA baseball in almost 3 years. Yeah. So it's like, get these guys back out there. Get them seen. That's what's going on with the baseball card market right now. It's all these guys, it's all hypotheticals, and we're wondering what these guys are going to be doing. We haven't seen them play. We haven't got to actually go and watch these guys.
And the mask mandates, if you're like, spring training is basically two states, right? It's only Arizona and Florida. Yeah. Well, those, they don't even know COVID exists the last few months. So it's like, they're ready. Like, they're ready to roll. They're going to have fans in the stands.
Because last year in Arizona, because I went to the preseason games in Arizona, and I was down there, and all of a sudden, like, they wouldn't let the players near you. And that's one thing about,
That's what
Spring training.
spring training. Yeah, so hang out, see, you're up close with the fan or the players. You get to talk to them. They sign autographs. They're all personable, all hanging out.
Right down the street, there's a fun facility. You just sit after it.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Go hang out with the players and enjoy the time down there. They didn't let you do this last year. They locked it all down. They kept everybody away. So it's going to happen.
They
It's
will
gonna
this year.
well, you know, and you have things like this. You have certain things like this. You have to really start getting into also what were things that didn't have storylines like that. All we're talking about is these other sports. The lockouts got baseball that's not talking, right? It's great rumors, signing rumors. Right?
Yes.
You get Carlos Correa still on, right? That's I think him falling in line follows other
Right behind you.
What other stories do we have? It's Mike Trout. Has anybody seen Mike Trout? That guy's
Hello.
MIA.
Hello.
Was he on the Super Bowl? Was he being shot? No. Right? Ghost. Ronald Cook. Right. Because he had a pretty bad injury. Where's he at? How's he coming back? Right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about this stuff coming. We look at this market. And I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump the gun a little bit today. We're going to jump into plus and minus. We're going to talk.
Let's do it because it rolled right into it. It makes sense.
Well, the thing is, guys, is when you start talking investment in sports cards, you start talking about stuff, you all look for opportunities, right? You know, there's a lot of opportunities out there. And Major League Baseball is setting up right now for an opportunity for you to really get ahead of it. Now, I came on last week to talk about draft picks and talk about prospects. What I really want to get into today is actually talking about some of these guys that have question marks, right? You saw almost 40% decrease in the market on Mike Trout, right? That's not a real number, guys. This guy was the best player for what, 8 straight years, right?
Yeah.
Guys, he's a Hall of Famer. He's done it. He's going to keep doing it. I know his teams haven't made the playoffs. He's also had me pitching for him left-handed. Let's be fair, right? Like he hasn't had the help, right? And the signings they made really didn't make sense. You didn't need to go spend $300 million or $200 million on Carlos when you signed him. Like that didn't help that team.
Right.
It didn't.
You could have got the same production out of a $10 to $15 million player.
Yes.
You know, that's there for 4 years at $15 million. He's making 2.5 a year.
Right.
Right.
Now you spend that money on some pitching. For God's sakes, how long are we going to talk about the Angels and their godforsaken pitching?
Right.
When you have to have the best all-around player hitting, you're going to now make him go pitch
You can see
in Ohtani?
Like you can see how
What the hell?
You can see how pissed he is, and the reason he is because he's watched for years Mike Trout not make the playoffs, and it's not Trout's fault.
Yeah.
Right. So a guy like this, what a great time to grab some stuff. Go out, buy yourself a nice Trout rookie. Even if it's Gold Cup, you can't afford like the big stuff. Go buy a Gold Cup. At least have a nice first or second year Trout card. Put it in your collection, sit it away. I think you'll see a guy like this come back. I think we could have crazy talk by the end of the year. Because I actually believe the pitching staff is going to be pretty decent this year. I also think that their lineup is way better because they've got some players that are coming to the pipeline that have had time to be able to get back. And they're not bogged down by big deals. They still got some room to spend some money. I think they're in a position they might be able to do something. Texas is going all in on guys. Yeah. They've got pitching. They're bringing in old arms. They're bringing in, we'll see. That's going to be a flyer. I honestly think they're going to be pretty good. And the Astros are going to take a step back. They just are. They're taking one of their best pieces and losing them.
The West is up for grabs.
Yeah. So I think this is an opportunity to have a Mike Trout talked about season, comeback player of the year, him and Acuna battling back and forth. They'll be talked about MVP. They'll be talked about this. And then when all said and done, Trout's an MVP. Trout does that. Whereas I don't know if Acuna will come back and be an MVP player. I think Bryce goes back to back this year personally. I think we're going to see it. I think he's going to get his team in the playoffs this year. So I think that's where that. But both those guys, numbers are down. You can invest into them right now and still be able to get some stuff. Don't miss. You've got 2 weeks, guys. That's what I'm telling you. You have 2 weeks. Because as soon as those guys have their jerseys on and they're on TV, everything's popping back up, right? And these aren't secrets. These guys are not secrets. Now, we talk about what have you seen from me lately? There we go. Put the jersey on, it's going to go up. Okay. We just saw this happen with what? Burrow, Chase. Now, everybody's been asking, what's going to happen with Burrow? What's going to happen with Chase? It's my advice. You have Jamar Chase stuff, sell it today. You're going to sell it today. Because Jamar Chase will never realize the value that he has today for at least, I'm going to say 2 or 3 years minimum. And if you want any example of that, how good Justin Jefferson was, his rookie season, right? And how we saw his prices influence and then come back to the pack, right? And now I think he's a good receiver.
Yes.
Okay. Jamar Chase is going to be the same. It's going to be a new flavor of the month, right? So this is a great time to put.
No, at wide receiver for sure.
And that's what you talked about with wide receivers and running backs. They don't have a longevity. They don't sustain that longevity like quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I found today, I just quickly looked and I found a really nice autograph, RPA of Jamar Chase, numbered out of 99, available for like $800, right? Get it booked now, because I just don't see that. That's a $500 card now. It just is. Right? So we know that. The hype pushed it up. Good time to move it. You still have guys who are like, well, they did really good in the Super Bowl, so at least
they'll be back.
They did win. Now, Joe Burrow's catch is a little bit of a catch-22. Because personally, at least for the near future, the next 6 to 12 months, right now for Joe Burrow, it's not going to be any higher of values for him than what he is today. You should have sold him last week. Right? Last week was when you should have, right? But his numbers are not going to realize any higher. And I would actually argue with you, you probably see a 10, maybe 5 to 10% dip between now and the start of next season. And if you want an example of that real early, it's easy. Look at Herbert at the end of last year to the beginning of the season. Now, we saw a shift in the market, but that shift in the market still did. Because again, all of a sudden, boom, we're excited. What new quarterback's coming out? What's this? Now that happens, right? These guys are good. They're big investments. Burrow's long-term hold. If you've got a mid-range Burrow and you were thinking about moving it, something that you might be able to buy, say getting into the beginning of next season, sell it now, and then go rebuy it at the beginning of next season, and maybe you save yourself 10, maybe even get lucky and 15%. So that's my advice for that, guys. There's a lot of ways to invest in sports cards. This is one of those where you don't want to miss it. The Jamar Chase thing, you definitely want to. I'm going to tell you now, at the beginning of this next season, we're going to roll back to this. I'm going to say, you're going to want to sell Jamar Chase. This is why. So, guys, invest smart when you're doing sports cards as an investment. Invest smart. If it's your PC, if that's what you collect, if that's what you're into, then cool. Hold your cards, keep them. You got some nice stuff. But if you're selling stuff and you're looking to flip, this is your opportunity.
All right, real fast before we jump off, let's hit up Jay's fantasy roundup.
All right, a few things I want to mention with that trade deadline we talked about a couple minutes ago, and I'll make it quick here. 2 guys you want to look and see if they're available. They should be rostered up in all of your leagues, but if they're not, take a look at Davion Mitchell from the Kings and Malik Monk from the Lakers. They're seeing an increase in minutes as we speak, and those are, like I said, those are guys that should be owned in all your leagues. But just go out there and look and double check and make sure. I think last time I looked, they were like 70% available in beyond leagues. 70% rostered in beyond leagues. 3 guys though we want to talk about where their minutes are going up, and these are the guys you want to kind of jump on because you don't know. They're like lottery tickets. They could produce really well, or they could fall flat on their face and get pushed back to the bench. But right now, they're seeing an increase in minutes. Devin Vassell from the Spurs, excuse me, they traded Derek White. So Devin Vassell's minutes have been going up, and I think they're going to go up even more. Another guy on the same exact team to look at, but maybe a lesser version, is Lonnie Walker. He's going to see a little increase in minutes, but not much more than Devin Vassell. Alperen Seguin, I hope I said that right for you guys, from the Rockets. He just became starter, and he's averaging over 25 minutes a game the last 4 games. So these are the guys you want to look at, is the guys that their minutes are going up, not necessarily because they're destroying it, because guys are very fickle in fantasy. You know what I mean? They might be just part-time starters. They might come in and fill in for somebody that's injured. It might be a temporary fill, but guys that are on the increase of minutes are the guys you want to have, because those are the lottery tickets you're going to hold on your bench until they start producing. Last guy I want to talk about is Darius Bazley from OKC. He's been averaging almost 33 minutes a game over the last 7 games, and his numbers have had a huge increase since it's become that 33-minute mark. So he's somebody you want to go add if he's available. Now, these 3 guys I just mentioned, they're all owned or rostered up in less than 50% of leagues right now. So these guys should be available out in leagues, unless you have a really a big league where it's like 14, 16 teams. These guys should be available. So go out and look at your waiver wire and check these guys out. Minutes are going up.
I like the Basley call because Josh Giddey has pulled teams away into their game plans.
Yeah.
Where they're having to plan for him. And Basil is finally a guy that he's now shooting.
Yes.
Before he was pass first. Now he's shooting and he's putting up numbers. It's just showing the evolution of the rookie. Started this season and didn't know what he could get away with, and now he's been in every arena and he's had a chance to play.
And he's gonna have his minutes starting going up too when the trade starts playing.
That's great.
Well, fellas, that's it for us. Episode 16 is in the books. We'll see you guys back here next Monday, 11 o'clock. We'll be talking more sports investments and sports cards.
Yeah,
you guys have anything, hit us up. Instagram, Facebook. Follow us right after this. Let's hit the, I think I have something here for the promo. A little promo here. Let's see.
Hey everybody, we're coming live to you from the Game Day studio here at the Game Day Card Shop. Make sure you join us every Monday at 12:30 Pacific.
So guys, 12:30, Jay will be on right here. He's going to run singles. He's got some product that'll be in the store, and we'll just have some fun.
And real fast, the Union Marketplace night market, February 18th, 5 to 10 p.m. Escondido, California. If you're in the San Diego area, you're looking for something to do, you want to get in the sports market, they do a great job. They put on a lot of the shows that we attend. Head on down over there, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Escondido, California. If you need any more information on that, theunionmarketplace.com. We'll have a couple guys down there hanging out, saying hello. All right, fellas. We'll see you guys back here next time for episode 17. Let's go Monster Hunter.
Let's go.